Now we're live. Good morning. Welcome to Senate Economic Development, Housing and General Affairs. I'm Allison Clarkson, its new chair, and we're going to spend some time introducing ourselves to each other and mostly to each other. It's nice the public's here, but mostly we're going to introduce ourselves to each other. So, Randy, who is our vice chair, Randy, why don't you start? And then we're going to introduce and meet our Heidi, our new assistant committee assistant.
Well, let me start. I'm Randy Brock. I'm from Franklin County, and I represent Franklin County and one town in Grand Isle County, the northernmost town in Grand Isle County. I've been first elected to the Senate in 2008. I took a break off for about 3 years, and then came back in the end of 2017, and have been here ever since. In addition to this committee, I also serve on the Finance Committee. In this committee, I've been here, along with Alice.
You and I've been here for you. Phil Bruce was my first year. I was in your spot but you've been here with 6 years. So your 7th year, I think.
It's 6, 7 somewhere. You lose track of time because, as I mentioned in speeches before, being in the Senate is very much like being in the movie Groundhog Day, because you keep repeating the same thing over and over again, and you lose track of time.
I'm fully there, but right.
That's fair. And my background, private sector, is with a large financial services and investment company where I'm the executive vice president in charge of risk oversight and formerly the general auditor there. I also serve as Bond State Auditor for 2 years.
David.
Yeah, good morning. Senator Dave Weeks, representing Rutland County. This is my first term on economic development.
We welcome you. It's great to have Rutland represented again
So
on this committee.
I did ask. On my top two. So thank you. Facilitating that if you had anything. So I had a military background, Navy for a career. I shifted to the reserves, then laterally shifted to defense contracting. So I'm a program manager by training in the civilian sector. I tended to gravitate to international projects, which were red projects, meaning over budget, behind schedule, corporations irritated, and customers irritated. So with that combination,
You're perfectly prepared for being a legislator.
I chose to do my projects in country. So I went from Abu Dhabi to Qatar. This is living and working. Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, 2 locations, one Riyadh, one Jeddah, Seoul, and Paris. And that accounted for about 12 years of activity after I came off the back of it. And these projects were in the scale of 1 to 2 to 3 billion. And these were projects which had a lot of visibility because they were upside down. So that's so part of responsibility as a program manager, program director was business development to continue projects, to gain new projects. So I do recognize that Rutland County is struggling, has struggled probably for 70, 80 years since the railroad era ended and the marble industry ended. So to me, it's very personal that we have some representation on this committee for Rutland County and other counties which are also struggling. So I'm very, very happy to be here. And, I look forward to meetings over the next 2 years.
We're thrilled to have you, and we're thrilled to have Rutland County represented again in this committee. It used to be chaired by a Rutland County senator, and we had very good representation.
Who was that?
Kevin.
Oh, very good.
And then he was called untimely to Green Mountain Care Board, and then it shifted. Well, thank you. You're going to be a terrific addition. Heidi.
Yes.
We welcome Heidi Wilson Parker as our new committee assistant. Come join us and tell us. Introduce yourself.
All right. My name's Heidi Parker. I am brand new to this position to the State House, making a bit of a career transition from education. Most recently, but really basically all of my adult working life. Former high school teacher, and then worked in higher ed student services at the University of Vermont and the University of Texas. Yes, but I'm from Los Angeles. Yeah.
Part of LA.
From Glendale, of course, right next to Pasadena.
So, Erin, for your face, you're gonna move.
My family is okay, but many of my friends unfortunately lost their kids.
Yeah, we have cousins who are back, which is really rough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, so thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a wonderful to have you. We're really grateful to you joining us. So I'm Allison Clarkson. I'm going to be the new chair of this committee, although I've served on this committee this will be my 9th year. 7.5 years of it being its vice chair. And I love the mission of this committee. And this committee I think because it's got such a wide and diverse mission, its jurisdiction is everything from consumer protection to housing to economic development to labor. And so I love the depth and breadth of the reach of this committee. And I served in the House for 12 years. I was first elected in 2004. So I'm in the proud class of 2004, and there are very few of us left. Small but mighty team. And I then moved to the Senate and when John Campbell retired in 2016, and have been here and really love this work and love advocating for these particular jurisdictional areas, even representing things I'm not a big fan of on the floor. Southwest. Before that, we've lived in Vermont for 33 years, and before that, my professional life I was a theater producer in New York, and so my management and business experience. I mean, I'm also the daughter of business, but my initial experience as my own business person was as a theater producer and manager, and that has informed a lot of our work here. So I think with that, I'm just going to have the people who are in the room introduce themselves quickly, because I think we'll see some of them as advocates on a regular basis. Nick and Emma, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yes, I'm Nick Adams with Action Circles. I'm a legislative assistant for this session, so I'm sure I'll see you all
Great.
again.
Emma?
Sure. My name's Emma Regan. I'm a staff member for the Nick Crossing group. This is my first session with them. Thank you for having me.
Great. It's good to have you. And Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin. I am the director for the Senate Democrats. And I worked with Allison very closely when she was majority leader, and looking forward to working more with the Democratic caucus this session.
Great.
And I'm just popping around to all the morning committees and just showing face.
Well, it's good to have you. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I think what we're going to try and do this morning is really just get to know each other a little bit, figure out our working schedules, and at least begin our work together. And there isn't a more important way to begin than understanding who our partners are in this work. And that might be Tucker's on deck to, if you'd be kind enough to come and join us in, yeah, sure. Our legislative council partners are in many ways our most important partners, along with the Joint Fiscal Office. We have no personal staff, as people may remember. We have no personal offices, but we do have fabulous shared staff, nonpartisan staff, who we treasure and who we are looking forward to working with on enabling all our work, quite frankly.
Good morning, Tucker Anderson, Legislative Counsel. I'm glad to be treasured. I've been described as a treasure before, so this is a wonderful way to start the session. I guess I'm a little early and premature because my team was going to come meet all of you this morning. So to kind of foreground that discussion, legislative council's been broken into teams. They cover subject areas. And there will be a smaller team of attorneys within ledge council that primarily serve this committee and government operations. And I'm the team leader for that small group of attorneys who are likely on their way and very excited to meet all of you. So I know all of you. Known all of you for many years. I started in 2017 as a law clerk. So I believe that if I'm doing the math right, I'm entering my 9th session now, working with all of you. My background, I lived, studied, and worked internationally for many years, then went to law school at Penn State, and then right as my career was kicking off and everything seemed wonderful and glorious, my wife decided she wanted to go to medical school. And she had gone to undergrad at UVM, and she said one day, right as I was getting out of law school, we're moving to Vermont and going to UVM for medical school. And I said, great, how's the job market for attorneys? And fast forward 3 months, I ended up here as a law clerk working for Damian Leonard and Betsy Ann Rask, both I'm sure you're very familiar with. And that is how I got involved in both the government operations and the economic development, primarily labor and employment portfolios. Now I work almost exclusively on GovOps, but I will be in this committee fairly frequently. And if you begin working on labor and lottery, they're the 2 primary subject areas I work on. They come before this and fall within its jurisdiction. The other attorneys on the team are Rick Sagel, who is entering his 2nd session, and he works primarily on consumer protection, commerce, economic development issues. A new attorney, Sophie Zadatny, who will be taking over Damian Leonard's labor and employment portfolio. And another brand new attorney to the team, Cameron Wood, who will be taking over the housing and parts of the consumer protection economic development portfolio as well. There is one final member of the team who will not be here for a little while because he's on leave, and that is Tim Devlin. Likely will not be in front of this committee a lot because his portfolio is almost purely government operations. But as the team kind of gets into the flow with you all, I'm assuming attorneys will rotate in and out based on need, specifically your needs and availability.
And did you mention Cam?
I did. I mentioned
Okay,
Cameron. Yeah.
Everybody's in this book now in their teams, which is really well organized. So this is very useful. Thank you.
Yes.
So if you need, so contact information is here.
Yes, with one exception, which is that was fired off to the printer before edits happened, and Sophie's last name and her email and all of the information about her portfolio are wrong.
Okay, so she'll hopefully be here in a minute. She will correct us. So it's and your we will be sort of work shifting a little bit on how we work together in terms of planning. So Heidi, we're gonna have to sort of figure that out, how we coordinate doing agenda planning with the team.
And we'll be in touch moving forward about organizing this sort of stuff and making sure that we're available to all of you whenever you need us.
That's Notters, but he wanted it and he just had left it in the lounge, so. In terms of how you prefer are communicating with you, mostly email and you have your same phones. Yeah, which is great. And they're now all over in 2 Aiken except for the judiciary.
That's correct. So all of the ledge council attorneys, except for 3 that work specifically with the judiciary committees, have been moved from the mezzanine to 2 Aiken building, which is in between tax and the Pink Lady. We haven't come up with a clever nickname like the Pink Lady yet. I have suggested the Toucan, 2 Aiken for the Toucan.
2
Yes, but
or the greenhouse.
the greenhouse, someone suggested the green gentleman. But we'll see.
Greenhouse or, yeah. Or just lunch camps. Yeah, well, I think,
Tucker, do we have, I notice here, the book simply lists the phone numbers, the general phone number, which I've always
Yes.
found to be a problem.
You should have access to a specific directory for the attorneys, and I can show you how to pull that list out.
Okay.
So that you can call our actual offices. So
The directory is that directory, is it an online directory or?
it's an intranet in-house directory, and the general line was put under all of us, and I think all of the staff, because of security issues that popped up when our
and we
personal
will
numbers
have,
were posted online 6 years ago.
so when we do our contact sheet, which will, and a contact information, which you can stick into your
Yeah.
resources in your, we will have everybody, what people are willing to share in, but their direct lines.
Yes, and I'll show you how.
And correct Sophie's email. Right,
Right, That
and
will come from you as opposed to from, our sister was,
As far as getting in touch with our contact info,
yeah, methodology.
we can send an email out. I'll make sure that Heidi's included so that the committee itself.
So we will get that then from you by email. That's what I'm just trying to figure out how we can.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
and Tucker, you're heading that for the economic development housing liquor and lottery,
Yes.
consumer protection.
The random drawer that comprises GovOps,
Right.
economic development, and commerce.
Yeah, which is great. Thank you. More will follow. Rick, we
So-
welcome you.
Well-
Thank you. And you, are you gonna disappear? You're gonna stay with us for a minute?
I'll disappear when Rick's ready to
Okay.
manage as well.
You'll go upstairs.
Yes.
Good
morning.
So, good morning, Rick Sagel. It is lovely to have you.
Well, Rick Stapel, Office of Blips of Council. Thanks for the invitation, Senator Brock, Senator Weeks, and their Chair Clarkson. Good to be back here. And I missed Tucker's introduction. I'm not sure if he explained the new team situation we have.
He did.
He's nodding.
And he sort of generally introduced each of you, but now
Yes.
you get to introduce yourselves and a bit of your background. To us.
Yeah, so I think Senator Brock and Senator Clarkson, you know quite a bit about me. I joined last year. Senator Weeks, I don't think I was in committee with you a whole lot, but
We've met in
yeah, and the Jai talk as well, right?
Oh,
So
great. Good.
my portfolio, I'm more of the commerce portion, economic, workforce development, IT, privacy. That's kind of more my purview. AI, all the fun stuff is in my portfolio. Business organizations, cybersecurity, is that? Sorry, Tucker's again nodding. We're still figuring out exactly where these lines are drawn.
And we will be meeting, which we talked about earlier, with all the committee chairs that sort of have these shared jurisdictions.
Yes.
So now that the institutions committee, also the IT and institutions
saw-
committee, we're going to need to differentiate what's the substance, the data privacy substance, and what is the structural IT cybersecurity,
Right.
whether that's in Wendy's committee, whether that's.
Yeah.
My understanding is that it's sort of infrastructure and there and with that. So we need to work some of that out.
Sure,
Right.
So I'll be involved in those discussions and nothing. Trying to think, Cameron's here now. But as far as the consumer protection portion, we're kind of splitting that between the two of us. My consumer protection is more the IT consumer protection, commerce consumer protection. But Cameron and I are kind of splitting that at the moment, and we'll find the regular working method here soon.
Yeah. How about a little bit of how did you come to us?
Oh, you want that story?
Well, we all shared that.
Okay.
It helps flush it
Sure,
out.
sure. So I remember Senator Brock's comment too. I moved here from Texas last year, and I remember your comment about how we're just as big as Texas if the mountains were flat. That sticks in my mind. Maybe you're right. I haven't done the. Maybe Tucker can provide
That is one of Randy's
plain
favorites.
analysis. So yeah, I came here from Texas last October 2023. In Texas, I taught at a community college. I had my own solo practice. I worked for a small law firm. I did in-house work, a lot of different things. decided to move here with my family. So I'm a product of workforce development in the States. So it worked for me to come here. And live in Northfield and have an 8-year-old girl and love it here, even though it's a little colder. This is, well, compared to last winter, I was like, this winter isn't that bad. What are people complaining about? This is, but this is cold. This last stretch a couple of weeks.
Cold, it isn't even below zero.
It was in Northfield a couple weeks ago. It was
Boy,
-2.
boy.
Well, we needed to stay up for a couple of years until we got people to move here. Now.
Yeah, right.
Spends them
Right.
shut down.
Although Texas got snow yesterday, like 2 inches of snow.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Everything is shut down because they don't have any.
LA needs that snow. It's too bad you couldn't read.
I know. So love it here, love Vermont, love the people, and I'm still learning about the culture. And there may be a couple times I need you to explain an acronym to me. You love acronyms. I mostly caught up on it, but occasionally I still may say, "Wait, can you explain that one to me?" I'm not familiar with it, but for the most part, I'm on board.
Well, you are splendid addition. We're very grateful to have you. So
Well, thank you.
thank you.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. And we have had Pam and Sophie join us. So why don't we shift to Sophie? Come and introduce yourself. It's wonderful to have you guys all here.
Hello. So yes, I'm Sophie Statney. I am legislative counsel on labor and employment. I have some other things as well that may come up, not necessarily in this committee, like military veterans, things like that. And I was working with Senator Brock on the agricultural workers study committee that we just wrapped up in December. Give me one of my general background just quickly.
I would love to have you introduce me because all of us need to get to know you. David got to experience a little of you when you were chancellor of the state university.
Education.
But
So yes, that was a detour from my legal career. So I am, I've been a lawyer for many years now. I've kind of gone through the spectrum of different kinds of things to do with the law degree, I think. So I've been on the defense side 7 years, plaintiff side 7 years, primarily doing employment and labor issues. So that my background is in this particular area. I've clerked for a federal judge. I've been in-house counsel at the Vermont State College System. Then I was the chancellor for 4 years. So this is kind of a return back to my legal roots and my labor and employment roots. So I'm very excited about this position and working with this committee, working with the other committees on the House side. So I'm really looking forward to it.
that's great. And I saw Shav last night for all our worlds. And Sophie is also wonderfully fun. She's interested. Another tea
So I
time.
have some other cultural things, although to Rick's point, I got married. I did get married in Houston in Texas. So I've been to Texas for 2 years, and I've kind of done a circuit from Texas to Illinois to West Virginia to Vermont. So we my husband's a faculty member at UVM, which is why we traveled around.
Right.
So I've kind of done the northern route, but I have to say Vermont feels the most like home out of all the states I've lived in.
So Rick and Sophie and Heidi all have Texas
That's right.
touch, which is great.
Well, when I was in Texas, I worked for a natural gas marketing company for the 2 years I was down there. And I used to talk to people out in the field in Mississippi and places that had little oil wells in their backyard. And they would be like, "You're not from East Texas." I could be from West Texas, but I wasn't from East Texas. And I'm sure my English accent was much stronger back then. So Mississippi was the one accent I really struggled.
It's a very tentative alarm.
Yeah.
I think we'll just continue.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Can I ask one question
Yeah.
about the structure of sort of council? So does this group, the team, does it serve both the Senate and the House?
Yes.
Is my clear.
And it's one of the things we have to be cognizant of, particularly with one out on paternity leave, is being thoughtful about people's time and sharing. So, and your experience as a mother, of course, it's as a parent, all of us, it helps you deal with legislators much more fully. Anyway, It's great to have you, and thank you for joining us. And Cam, come join us again in such a different capacity. Although what goes around comes around.
It does.
So here you are back.
I'm back in this capacity.
Yeah. Well, not everybody that served with you in that capacity,
That is true.
except
That is
I
true.
think I'm in for one.
Good morning, Cameron Wood, Office of Legislative Counsel. Portfolio that I'll be covering is primarily housing, but it also includes consumer protection and retirements and pensions. So I will be in here, I assume, quite a bit. As Rick mentioned, still trying to figure out exactly what the line is between the two of us in consumer protection, but we'll figure that as we go along. This will be my first session back in this capacity. For a little bit of background, I am from Alabama, so I'm another Southern transplant to the state of Vermont. However, I have been here for 11 years at this point. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I plan to stay for as long as you all have me. I went to law school in undergrad at the University of Alabama. I did my last semester of law school at Vermont Law School as a visiting student. I interned in the Office of Legislative Counsel at that time. And then after I passed the bar exam, I clerked for 2 sessions in Legislative Counsel. And my 2 supervising attorneys were Michael O'Grady and Betsy Ann Rask. So I was
Who's helping us?
I was, in my opinion, had, 2 of the best attorneys in the office, that I got the privilege of working for. So really, really excited about that. From there, at the time, this was at the very tail end of the Shumlin administration. Commissioner Noonan offered me a position at the Department of Labor, and that's where I've been for the past 9 years. I can't believe it's been that long every time I say it, but, started there as the director of the Unemployment Insurance Division, and then subsequently also took on the role of the policy and legislative director for the department. And I was doing that role as well for the past 2 years.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? This is a building evacuation. Gather your belongings if they are within reach and evacuate the building using the designated route for your area, the closest stairwell or exit. Assemble in your designated area and check in with your fire and life safety floor.
Something you said, obviously.
They did not want me to continue.
Discuss this. Right, so we should go off on.
Building evacuation. Gather your belongings if they are within reach and evacuate the building using the designated route for your area, the closest stairwell or exit.